Welcome to Fellowship of Games. This is Alan.
I'm Dawn.
And I'm John.
And today we're going to show you how to play this wonderful game called Speakeasy by Eagle Griffin Games.
The game designer is Vital Lacerda, and the artwork is by Ian O'Toole. This is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, with gameplay approximately 45 minutes per player. So please join us at the table and we'll show you how to play this fabulous game.
Thanking you for joining us at the table. You've watched our setup, and now we're going to teach you how to play the game. So this is a player's setup. You have your speakeasies here, and your still goes right in this middle space. You have your nightclubs, and you have your casinos. I'll explain all those in a minute. You have your capos. These are your workers that you're going to place out there. And then you get family members. If you get a family member for whatever reason, they go here in your VIP lounge. You have a little VIP lounge. Then you have your goons. Your goons are the people you hire to help you boost your strength and stuff. Everything, all your little traits start at 1. And this is a companion. It's how you make a deal with a mafioso so he backs you up. I'll explain that in a second. Mm-hmm. You're going to start with $15 in hand, $30 in the safe, the $15 in your hand. Mm-hmm. You get to spend freely. They're 1 for 1. Anything you have to spend out of your safe, if you want to buy a speakeasy and it costs 3, but you don't have any money, so it's instead of costing 3, it's going to cost you 6. So I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit more on the board, and then we're going to go to the spaces you can go to and all the icons and symbols they have. And when I explain that, that will get you basically, you can play the game after that. It's a pretty simple game, actually. But any other questions you have, the player aid has icon definitions, and the book has some really good icon definitions. It explains everything, essentially. So start off with here. These are your speakeasies plus your still. And whenever you build one of these using the build action, which I'll show you in a minute, you also get the symbol underneath. And so I'll explain those also whenever we do the worker placement sections. But if I bought this speakeasy, I'll go ahead and explain this one. It looks like a little color wheel, has an arrow to the right. If I built this speakeasy, put it out here on the board, I would get to take this in hand, put it in that slot there, and then I would get to bump up 1 on any one of my tracks. That's why it's got all 5 colors there. So you can bump up a track, and that's how you bump up a track. If I was able to spin this one, I could also do the same thing. All right. So if you notice, each one of these has a monetary value, and that's how much it costs to build out of this section. 3 for these, 5 for these, with your stills also 5, and then 8 for these. Why would you want to spend different ones? Well, whenever you're building your more expensive buildings, if you have one of these cleared out, let's say I had put all these speakeasies out, it cost me $8 for each speakeasy, but now that all 3 of these are gone, it's now a discount of $8 if I ever want to build one of my nightclubs or casinos. So normally a nightclub costs 12, but if I have all these gone, it only costs 4. That is a great deal. The nightclubs behave just like your speakeasies, except they're just more valuable. They give you better area control, because it's pretty much the main part of the first 3 rounds is trying to get that area control. And you get a bonus underneath whenever you do it. And to build a nightclub, I'll show you where that part's at in a second. You can either upgrade an existing speakeasy. So if I had one speakeasy out here, I would then remove the speakeasy from the game and be gone for good and replace it with a nightclub. Or I could just build a nightclub if there's nothing there. The cost's the same. Either way you do it. It's going to cost you 12 or 12 minus 8, 4. That's how you build a nightclub. And then casinos, they are the most valuable commodity you can put out there. They get you the biggest bonus. They always get area control, especially if it's protected. And they cost 17 minus whatever you have cleared out down here, and you have to also spend a card. But it's just like a nightclub. You can upgrade an existing speakeasy or just put a nightclub out. It costs the same either way. So that's how you get your buildings out. And I'll explain the area control in a moment. And then right here, show you this, we have our little trucks. What do the trucks do? Well, the trucks get your alcohol from your still or the wharf to your speakeasies or your casinos and everything. I'll show you that when I show you the truck action. And how do you take these actions? Your capos. You're going to put your capo out, and that's how you take an action. And whenever you do, or it lets you play cards or anything, you get to bump up one of these tracks and show these tracks real quick, and then we'll get to the worker placement sections. Whenever you bump up a track, you're going to go up the infamy track also. It starts at 5. Everybody's at 5 because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically, if you add up where your positions are, and there's a number above them, so if we had this, so say, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I should be at the 10 spot. And as you go up these spots, you get bonuses like family members or cards, or you can cook the books. I'll explain that in a minute. Cook the books and get bonuses. And if you get all the way up there, that just gives you $15 in your safe. Also, as you go up this track, the alcohol, when you sell it, is worth more money. So that's pretty nice. But that is your player board. Let me show you one last thing real quick. The cards, these spaces right here. What you're going to do is you're going to play a card, and each card corresponds to one of the colors. This is a red card. Whenever you play one of these cards, you're going to get this top part. You get the both of them. And then you slide it in right here, and it slides in this window, which is awesome. And these are, this is influence you can spend. I'll explain what that is in a second. But it slides in. So there are many places that let you do cards, but the cards are all, every single, this is a VIP card. And it always lets you take family members. If you had a family member here in your nightclub, it lets you take that family member out and put them out to protect the building. And then this one, this is the party card. These always let you sell alcohol. So that's where these go. Then you have these still cards. These will, have whatever the top part is, these will always let you brew alcohol if you have a still. If you don't have a still, you can still play the card. You can always still play these cards if you can't take all the actions. And then this one has this symbol, looks like a truck with a barrel in it. That lets you deliver the alcohol, move it around your Manhattan here to your different nightclubs. So that is your player board. And now I'm going to move over to the worker placement section. All right, let us discuss. We're going to break it down how a round goes down. I'm going to show you each one of the areas and what they are called. All right. So the first one is the docks. Don's showing you there. And if you put your capo on one of those, either one of those spaces, if you notice, some of them have big oval circles and some of them have like lines dividing them. Essentially, whichever person you put it on, you get the action of either side of the divided line. And then
this one has 2.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yep, 2, 3. The big oval one, you get to do all the actions in that area. So in that space, it shows you one of these brew cards. So you get to play a brew card. And in that one right there, you also get to get a goon for free. So that's pretty nice because these goons, the way they play, I should have told you that earlier. First one is free. He costs 0. The second one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they cost, the more goons you buy, the more expensive it is. And so when you have to fill them up from lowest to highest, you can't just always take those 0 and then put, replace the 0. Whenever you're using a goon, you have to take it from the highest spot. But the other one, you don't get the free goon. And then below that, we're just going to jump right in. That's attacking a ship. All right. So I'm going to show you how to attack a ship. The way you attack a ship, let's get a good example. Let's get some of our people out here. We're going to attack this ship right here, Sandra Blue Daisy. So go ahead and put one of your helpers out there, Don, if you would.
You got a yellow helper.
Put one here and...
That's a capo.
I know. Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Go ahead and put them here. I want to show them exactly.
And let's do...
Yeah.
I'll put one of mine over here.
Yeah, somewhere else.
An example.
So whenever you're put a helper out, we'll show you how to do that in a second. Basically, whenever you gain a helper, this action here, you get to decide where you put them. So if you put one to the dock, then you get to place one in one of these rows. You get the bonus, which this is a book, which you can cook. This is either one of these city tiles or one of the cards. I'll explain the city tiles in a second. You get a free card. And this one's another goon for free. So you put them out there, and Now these are the guys that are going to help you attack the boat. So you have to have these guys in the area. So like I said, if I'm attacking Blue Daisy here, I'm going to move my strength up to 4 here.
So it'd be any
yeah.
or
if
yeah,
there was
just that one, yeah.
Yeah, say if this boat was here, I could also attack that boat. But that boat's over here, so
It's that line over.
yeah, so this is the docks. Right here, these are the docks, and each dock corresponds with one of these zones. We got the 3 zones. We call them the harbor, Central Park, and Midtown is what we would call them. But if you look, there's a little arrow on this, and it shows you which section they apply to. So you're going to take your strength and your times about how many goons you have on that section of the dock. So right now my strength is 4 and I have 1 goon, so my strength is a whopping 4. But
You have 2.
oh, 2. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the yellow. I have 2, so my strength is a whopping 8, which is still not enough because this is Daisy's strength right here. Her strength is whatever the lowest exposed number. As you sell beer or steal beer from her, that number is going to go up. So I could pay Dawn $1. You'll have to give me some change. But pay Dawn $1,
Some change.
and now I have 3 goons. She has to accept it. She cannot not accept it. Ha! So now I have 3 goons. 3 times 4 is 12, which is 1 more. Whenever you're attacking, you have to get 1 more. So I would be able to defeat Blue Daisy here. And what happens? I'm going to get this crate. And these crates always have some form of scoring function. And this one is whatever my highest level is, I get that times 4. So I can get up to 20 on that one. And then we have this little top part, which is a constant ongoing
Bonus.
effect.
Yeah.
Bonus. And so in the case of this one, whenever I put someone on the dock, instead of just taking the one that I placed them on, I can take any one of these 4. So
Nice.
it's pretty nice. And then that would immediately be replaced by another one. So these crates, they have a whole bunch of different, here, John's, I will go ahead and put this here. Boom. New crate. These crates always get replaced, so there's always a new one, and they always have different kind of bonuses, and they are in the book. There's a really good description in the book
All
on what
of
the
them.
crates do. So,
Yeah.
but you get to get a barrel, and you get to play it. Let's say I had this place here. You get to take, even though I robbed here, you get to put this little barrel of beer anywhere. I should say beer. Alcohol.
It's rum, actually.
Rum, yeah. You get to put that anywhere on the boards. You can put it by one of your buildings. You're allowed to put 1 barrel by each building. And let's say we've been buying and robbing from poor Blue Daisy, and she was totally out. 16 was her power. Well, if we still want to attack her, we can. We just have to beat 16, and you take a barrel from the supply. So there's always a barrel you can take. I'll let my assistant Dawn replace all these wonderful barrels.
Thank you.
But that is how you attack a crate. Oh, and then one last thing. The ship will move to the next empty space it can. It always moves clockwise.
After being attacked.
After being attacked.
Like if it was here and it was
Yeah.
attacked, it would move all the way to here.
Yep, next empty space. Yep. Yeah, we had
Blame 'em.
a ship move. We can just leave it there. I don't need to move it back. That's the OCD and me kicking in. But that's both those. The one place gets you, lets you play a brew card or a steel card, and you get a goon. The other one just play a steel card, but they both allow you to attack a ship, which is a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie, I enjoy it very much.
And just know all these options are completely optional. You could like just take the goon and not play a card if you want to.
If you don't have the card.
This is the only one that you have to do all the sections.
Yeah, it's red. If you notice, it's red. So you don't even have to do the bottom 2, but you have to do that middle red section. You have to do that. All right, so the next section is the City Hall. So in City Hall, it's the top part, either one, is a big oval, so you can get a family member. And when you get a family member, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about it this time. When you gain a family member, however you gain them, you can put them in your VIP area, which the number of family members you can have in the VIP member area is based on how far you are up this chart. So right here, I'd only be able to get 1. Right here, I can do 2. This is 3. And if I max it out and I didn't explain this earlier, but to max out one of these sections, you always have to discard a card to go from 4 to number 5, unless you're on the strength. Then it's to go from 3 to 4. You discard 1 card, and then go from 4 to 5. You have to discard 2. Get your muscles. But you can also, instead of putting them in your VIP lounge, you can put them out here on the dock. Once they're out on the dock, though, you can't pull them back. They're out there. Oh, I neglected one other thing when you're attacking. When you're attacking, it shows it right here on this board. When you're attacking, you can add goons to increase your strength if you need to go ahead and get it up. And then when you're done, a family member has to come back to your VIP section. So that's kind of a nice way of recycling. But let's say I already had a family member there, and I was pulling him back. He would instead then go out of the game. You've lost control of him. So that's kind of a sad thing that happens whenever you get a family member.
That's the darker colored guy.
Yeah.
And he's always got the gun pointing up.
Yeah. He's always got the gun pointing up. And the next to him is, of course, the goons. The goons, these little brown-looking guys. I explained how to get them earlier. And they cost, you always go to the next highest available cost whenever you're buying them. And then whenever you're using them, you take them down from the highest available cost. So it's one's essentially, like I did this quite a few times. You can spend $3 and get you 3 goons pretty easy. It's pretty nice. But like I said, you use them to defend whenever you're being attacked in a mob war, which I'll explain in a little bit. Whenever you're attacking a boat, you can use them to boost your strength. Or whenever you're trying to take over a mobster speakeasy, you can also use goons to boost your strength. So that's how you get family members and goons. There's other spots. You can get goons right there. I think that's it, but there's other spots to get them.
And just as a side note, on the iconography, if you have like the slashes after the people,
Yes.
you can do this as many times as you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, we call it the sparkles. If you have the sparkles, that means you can play that style card or play that style action.
Yeah, do that action. So below, speaking of actions, below that person, you get +1 influence, and you use those to put family members out to guard your speakeasies and everything, and that will let you play a VIP card. VIP card, as I explained earlier. In this case, you would gain another family member, and you would be able to put out, and like John said, it has these little kind of shadow marks behind them, as many family members as you can forward. So the next action is putting out family members. So let me go ahead and explain how that works. So let's say, well, I already got a person. Now this guy right here, and there's a cop in that area. As long as there's a cop in that area, and he's not protected by a family member, that building doesn't count. It's as if it doesn't exist. But if I'm willing to spend favor, and how do you do favor? It depends on your turn order, which I do believe we explained in the setup. And I'll show you how to change turn order here in a little bit. But the first player has to spend 4, we call it favor, I think it's influence, or 3 or 2. And your cards have some up here. So if a card is tucked, if you notice when it's tucked in, this little window here, it'll show you how much influence you have when it's tucked in. In this case, I'm purple, so I only need 2. So I have 1, and then I just got this handy dandy one I can spin. So I can spin this one for an additional one, and then I can take this family member and I put them right there. There's a little shield symbol. Now that building is protected, so it's actually active again. Essentially, he's made a deal with that cop. He's watching out for the building, and the police officer
Get that favor.
is now looking the other way. So that's how that works. I'm going to go ahead and pull this back out and put my family member, put this back out. So that's how you do the City Hall. I want to come back to the restaurant because it's a little more complicated. So we're going to skip the restaurant and go to the commission. How's the commission work? You got 3 spaces. Yep. And then the first space, that is a helper card. It looks like a little phone. So you're going to have helper cards set out over here. So let's go ahead and explain what a helper card is. A helper card has some sort of action on them. And this one lets you draw a brew card. Whenever you pick one of these up, you just simply pick it up and you set it on your area. And then it's immediately replaced. John, if you would replace it. Then at the start of your turn, you can do whatever this action is. And there's a whole bunch of different helper cards, and all the actions are explained in the book. But you get to do whatever that action is. And then if you look at the helper card, there's a bottle and a amount of money. And at the end of the game, for every one of these unique bottles, you get to collect that amount of money from your helper. They're essentially, you get to cash them in. But whenever you use them, you flip them over and you put them in your safe. But they're still worth that amount of money at the end of the game. You do never lose that volume of money. But that's what a helper card is. Those are really nice. The next section is the track bump up. I've shown you how to do that, but yeah, whenever you notice it's got all 5 colors, so you just basically pick a track and bump it up, and as soon as you bump a track, you got to remember you also got to bump up your infamy track. And the next section is gain a family member, which we explained earlier at City Hall. All right, and below that is let me read. It has a gain an associate. That's what it is. That's where this little token right here comes in. Notice it's got the handshake symbol on it, just like that. Essentially, you're going to find a place where there's a mafioso.
Like here.
Yeah, let's pick this one, 14. And then we come over here and we get the corresponding mafioso, and we put them right here. Why do you want to do that? Well, when mob wars occur, we can pay this mafioso, Texas Gyan, this number amount, $5, and we get to add their strength 4 to our total strength when defending against a mob or attacking a still card if we need to. So, but that's money out of pocket, so it's kind of tough. And then they all have some sort of special power here. So you should look it up. It's in the book. It tells you each one. There's a lot of different ones. I think there's 8 different powers they can have, and it's all explained in the book. But like I said, I would then slide that in there, and I would have that mafioso essentially kind of watching over me. But now I cannot attack this area because I've made a deal with this mafioso. So they can, but I cannot. And if all the spots, all the mob spots in the area have been taken over, this mafioso is out of a job. So they go away. So if you had an association with one of them, you lose that mafioso, and you have to go somewhere else. So, but the nice thing about it is, anytime you want to make another association with a mafioso, a mobster, I don't know why I'm saying mafioso, a mobster, you just go to another spot. You just go there to the commission again, and you always get that bottom spot. And the other one is gaining thugs, which we've already explained.
And on the mafia people, you can also, if some of their skills are one use.
One use, yeah.
That they actually have the icons flip over and they disappear.
Yeah, like this one right here, you get to put someone on the dock, and you get to put one in your VIP room, and then you flip them over, and on the back side, that symbol's gone, but it still has the strength and how much it costs.
I guess protection.
Yeah, and this one, yeah, I do believe, yeah. This one is +1 whenever you're taking over a mob spot, so he gives you an extra strength attack if you're taking over one of these areas. And you can only use it one time, or no, it's infinite. You can use it every single time, so when you flip it over, it's still there on the back.
Very nice.
Very nice.
We need a house rule. When you play it, you should say, "Hey, I know a guy."
I know a guy.
I know a guy. They have great names.
They do, yeah.
They're actually historical people.
They are. They're based on William Big Bill Dwyer. I've actually heard of him. Yeah. Waxy Gordon.
I think it tells the years
Tommy
that they
Three
ran.
Finger.
Yeah.
On the left and right side, the years that they actually did stuff.
Oh yeah, 1899 to 1867. That's probably how long they lived.
So cool.
I didn't notice that, John.
Yeah.
That's very cool. There's a lot of, in the book, the instruction book, there's a lot of history.
History, yeah.
Yeah, it tells you the different years when stuff happened. All right, so let's go to the contractor. So we have 3 more icons. One of them is new, and that is a book. One thing you're going to have
I love this.
are books. You get these books, and you have a space right here. You can hold infinite number of books. And then you can go to the restaurant. I'll explain a little bit, but you can cook your books. That's like, what's the really famous one from Chicago?
Capone?
Capone, yeah.
So he got caught.
He got caught because he was cooking books. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there to show you an example. The other 2 are bumping tracks and getting a helper. We understand that. So let's go ahead and go to the one below it, which is where the real action is. And that is building your still, which is this one, or building a speakeasy. And you can build up to 2. So how do you do it? you can go in one of two places. If there's nothing, no mafioso there, you just simply, there's these little bonus tokens. You take that token, you put it aside, you pay. In this case, I'm going to build my still. It's $5. I'm going to spend that $5 and I get to put out my still. Dun, 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 dun. Or, let's say this one, and I would collect the bonus also, which is a favor. So I would get a favor. Oh, thank you, John. And then I don't want to spend too much money for the next one, so I'm going to spend 3. And I'm going to go, where am I going to go? Let me show you the other place you can go. You can go where there's a mobster. So the mobsters, they're sitting here in these little areas. There's 16 sections across the board. And each one has the mobster strength. So like this one in 3 right here, he's a strength of 3. It shows it right there. So let's say I want to build one of these 2 spots. I want to move into this neighborhood. How do I do it? I have to have enough strength to beat this 3. So that means I have to have 4. In my case, I bought these goons earlier. So my strength of 1 plus 3, spend these goons, is 4. So I'm going to take over this spot from the mafioso. So I'm going to take over this one.
Yeah, get that one.
And I put mine down. And then I put this here on my board. I'll show you how to access these in a little bit. Those are at the restaurant. That's how you access these. But now I have presents here. And the nice thing about going to a place where there's a mafioso already present, you never have to worry about a incoming raid. If you look, we got these little bodies. This is where the mafiosos are going to come in next. Yeah. So in this round 3 come out, and the next round 4 come out, and the last one 3 come out.
And they get tougher.
They get a lot stronger. If you look at the board, by the gun, there's a little spot. So these mafios right here are going to hit at either 6 or 8, and the ones below it are, I can't read
8 and 10.
And the ones below that?
10 and 12.
10 and 12.
And just so you know, each round, this is how many come out that round, too.
Yeah, we got them stacked up. It's pretty neat how they did that. And at the end of the game, you're going to have a mafioso at all 16 spots. So that's a way of getting out your still and your speakeasy. But again, if there's a cop there, let's say I, for some reason, built my still here, I couldn't use my still. I couldn't brew my still because there's a cop there. So I'd have to then get a family member out there, and as soon as a family member out there, and once you get them out there, a family member out there, they're there for the rest of the game, unless during a mob war your still gets destroyed. You fail to protect it, then it gets destroyed. But he's
Done that.
me too. So he's out there for the rest of the game, protecting your still. What a nice guy. Also, if you look,
Nice guy.
you can tell where the next round of cops are going to come out because you go ahead and place them at the end of the round, what's called the Lucky Luciano phase. So I'll explain that when we get to it. But you can see where the next set of cops is coming out. All right. So that's how you build your stills and your speakeasies. And again, you get the bonus whenever you spend the money on it. Next, the next spot is the city planner. A little more fancy. So we got the all play function on that, and that is building nightclubs or casinos. Now, whenever you see the thing, that little symbol of the nightclub, yeah, with the little arrow pointing down, that means you can do one of 2 things. You can upgrade one of your existing speakeasies, or you can just place a new one out. It costs the same. So I explained how much it costs earlier when I was talking about the board. But these are all for area control, which I'll explain area control in the Lucky Luciano phase. But getting nightclubs and casinos out, they pay you a lot more, especially at the end of the game. They get you more money. And below that, yeah, John, that one's play any card. Yeah, since it's got the 4 different colors and the little sparkly, as we like to call them. So you can play any card with that one, which is pretty nice. Any one of the 4 different color cards. And, of course, bumping up a track in the middle. And then that one is playing one of the party cards, the purple party cards. Yeah, it looks like a little saxophone he's playing. So
I kept calling him Jazz.
we call him Jazz because on the back of the card it says Jazz. So
yeah, every card has the word Jazz on it somewhere.
Yeah, we will always say the word Jazz pretty much. You hear us say that a whole lot. But that's how that goes. So next.
But just know, this one you have to put your houses first.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of is important.
That is important, yeah. Yeah, it's very important. So, yeah. You got to spend that money first.
On all these, you do these in an order.
In order, top to bottom. John is correct. Yep. Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have the garage. This is where the people get their hands dirty, where the real work is done. Of course, the top one is bumping a track, which we've explained. The one on the left is playing a... Where's my green cards at? Right here.
The cutest part.
Yeah. Playing a delivery card. And these are how you get alcohol from your still or from the docks to your casinos. So this one, you play the card, and then the card, of course, has the action. If you notice, the action there matches this one. This one, you just take the action, but this one, you get to play a card, and you get +2 movement. So let's go ahead and look at this. This one, this track, it tells you how much movement your vehicle has. So it's 2, 3, 3, and when you get to this middle part, you unlock your second truck. Well, let's say I took the action on the right instead of playing a card. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a car sitting beside your board, and as soon as you take this action, you get to put it anywhere on the board. So let's say I played a still card earlier, and I had 2 barrels in my still.
And just to note, the only way to get liquor in this there is through the distilled cards or these tokens. It's the only way you can make liquor.
Only way you can brew, yeah. So it's right connected with this. Play one of these cards, or one of these. Oh, like pretty much everything you can do on this board is going to be on one of these city tokens as a bonus. So, but now I have. Let's say I have 3. I can only move 2 because guess what? My truck only has 2 spots. I can put 2 in there, and now I have. Let's say
your movement's based off of
your movement. Yeah, let's just say I had 4 movement. So then I could move anywhere, and let's say I had a casino over here. I defeated that guy, and I had a casino over there. So I could go 1, and then you can drop off and pick up for free. So I could drop off. And then I could go, I have 4 movement, 2, 3, 4, trying to get to this little speakeasy.
And as a side note, you can only drop off 1 barrel per building.
Ooh, and that one has a +2.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, if I'd played a card, I would have +2 movement. Some of these cards have +2 movements. Yeah. So that'd be +4. It stacks. So.
That's play a card and move, and a lot of the travels have this symbol on it.
Yeah, so whenever you play a card, like all the travel cards have this symbol on it, every single one of them. It's just not on the top, but on the bottom part they have that. And that, like I said, this bottom part you're moving is based on where you are on this track. So that's how you get your your still to your casinos and speakeasies. But let's say, put this over here. Let's say I was right here, and I wanted to get to my some alcohol rum to my speakeasy over here. Well, I'm right beside this boat, and this is Arnold Rothstein. So he has 5 barrels, and each one has a cost underneath. So I could spend $4, that's all my ones. I'm going to spend $4. Banker Don. And I'm going to put that barrel right there. So if I'd gone to this spot, you can pick up from a boat or a still, and now I still have the drive movements. In this case, it's 4. I can go 1, 2, 3, drop off for free, and then say 4 to head back towards either my still or another boat, because all the boats in this case are on this side of the...
Yeah.
But
right. I was going to say one strategy too is you could pickups and drop-offs are free.
Yeah.
So you could pick up, like, say 2, you could drop off 1, as he swung back by, grab another box.
Pick another one up, yeah.
To get 2 drop-offs.
Yep, John is correct. And even if, let's do this example, this was the situation, I would still have to pick up from my still and drop off to get it to this building. Because even though they're in the same area, you're still having to take it through traffic, and you're just not rolling a barrel of alcohol down the road.
Yeah.
The cops would see it. So you're loading in the truck in the garage, you're covering it up, and you're driving just a short distance, and you're dropping it off. So yeah, in order to get a barrel to one of your casinos or speakeasies or nightclubs, you're always going to have to use one of these trucks.
Mm-hmm. And we found out too, these are not adjacent for driving trucks.
No.
To go from 15, you have to go 16 to 14 to 11 to 10, 13 to 15.
Yep.
Just
5 movement spaces.
Because this little space is confusing. We thought that was adjacent. It is not.
It is not adjacent. Nope. It's kind
Well,
of
it was for a minute.
Yeah, it was. For first time we played it, it
till we
was
read the
indeed
directions.
adjacent. But that is the garage. And lastly is the park. The park, there are 3 spaces in the park. And what the park lets you do, let's say, show them, John. Let's say these people were out there and I wanted to go
Mobster.
I wanted to go to the commission where John's at because I wanted to bump up a track. So I would go to the park. Then I would switch the 2 people. And John would get one of these 3 bonuses. These aren't adjacent to, if you notice it has a big circle around it. He gets to pick either a influence, a city planning tile, which he would get from this area right here, or these 3, or he'd get a book to cook later. So you're not going to be locked out of a space if someone else goes there. There's 3 other chances for you to go there. And that's a really handy thing.
Yeah.
Super duper.
But you give somebody a chance to get a token, they can really use it.
They can use it, or a book. Those books are worth a lot of money later. Speaking of books, let's go back to the restaurant. It's the only thing we haven't explained. The restaurant. The top part, everybody's at the restaurant. Top part, whenever you go to the restaurant, it's got an infinity symbol there. Yeah, so Don could go there and John could go there again. You can have as many people as you want. The top part is you have to discard a card. So to go to the restaurant, you always have to discard a card. If you don't have a card to discard, you cannot go to the restaurant. But discard a card, and then you're going to reset the turn order. So wherever you decide to go, let's say I'm going there, so I want to go, I'm just going to keep it the same. And that determines how much your favors cost. And of course, how you go in the turn. But if I wanted to go to this spot, it would cost me another card. And same if we had a 4-player game, but we're just doing a 3-player game. So I would discard a card to go there, and then I would discard a card to go there. And that ensures I'm paying the cheapest amount of influence to put a family member out. It's pretty important because, you can kind of get trapped here and it costs 4, and that kind of stinks. But then at the end of the round, after everything's done, you're going to take the simplest action to move that character up. He's always, wherever you are down here, you're always going to move back up in that spot. So let's say I'd moved here, then John would move back and I'd move up. If we both moved down and that person was there, they'd move all the way there and they'd move up. You're just taking whatever the quickest, easiest action is to clear out the space above it.
And so the hotel and
Casino.
If anybody has casino, they get $3 every time someone goes. So say if I'm the blue one.
Yeah.
Say if I was here, I could be smart, go here and just move straight down. Nothing for me changes, but at the end of the turn I get $3.
It's $3 per casino that's out.
Yeah.
And it's important to know when you're putting out a casino or nightclub, you can only have one in each area. So you can have a nightclub casino here, nightclub casino here, and nightclub casino there. So now we drop down to the next spot. What's the next spot? It has a 2 times and then a not equal sign. You're going to take 2 of these 3 actions, but you can't take the same action. One of them's just play a card, which it's pretty nice. That can really help you out when you need to. But we've already explained that over here at the city planner. So next we're going to talk about these city tiles. You're going to, whenever you take over a spot, you're going to collect these little city tiles. And there's some other ways you can collect a city tile, but whenever you take over a spot, you collect a city tile. And then this is the only way you can spin these and actually use them. So this one would let me draw a brew card. This one will let me just put out a casino. I'd have to pay the cost of it, but it lets you put out an extra casino.
Nice.
Or this one lets you put out a nightclub. So they're pretty nice. There's I think 20 something. I can't remember. There's a lot. There's 16 spaces. So there's 30 of these little city tiles out. This one lets you move a family member to protect, and it's one of those symbols. So as many family members as you have, you could send them out to protect, gain a family member, gain a helper. They're just all through, and they can really make the difference. So whenever you spin one of these little circles here, some of them have X's and some have play buttons. Whenever you spin one, the ones you spin are going to go on one of these X's. And you're always going to make it even. So you're going to put 1, 1, 1. And I mean, you could pick any one of the 3 to do it. So if I put this one here, I could put it any one of these. Now the next one has to be on one of these 2. You're just going to evenly stack this up.
the reason you may want to do that is, say like somebody had a go up token there.
Yeah.
You could put it on top so that it kind of locks it out.
Locks it out. Yep. That's There's some strategy by covering stuff up. Let's say I knew John wanted to put out a nightclub, but he didn't want to go to one of those spots. I could then cover it up. So I blocked it from the nightclub. And you can also there's some of these cards that let you take these, like the helper ones. I know there's a helper one. You can take any one of these 6. If you take one of these, you just empty that spot out. If you took like this one, you'd have to put one there before you could fill up one of these 2. But these, if you take one of these, it has like a little play button. You immediately fill it with one of the stacks over here. You don't have to do one for one, but you go through this stack, and then let's say the stack was gone and you picked it there, then you go from this stack and you immediately refill it. So that's the difference between those 2. But that's how you play the city tiles, and they can be super important. I think they played a pretty big deal in the game we played. And so the last thing we're going to talk about is the books.
Hook in the books.
This is the only place to do it.
The only place, yes. There's no helper that lets you do it. There's no card. There's no city tile. That is the only place to cook the books. And you can cook. There's 3 of them there, up to 3 books. So the books you collect, you can collect them there. Helpers. There's a city tile that lets you collect a book. The books, there's spaces all over this board that lets you cook books, and they all give you money. And so you have to qualify to cook the book there. Some of them, like this one, actually give you a bonus too. So these pertain to crates, how many crates, and then you get $15. If you look, it looks like a little safe, so that goes into the safe. Why that's important, again, is anything you spend out of your safe, you have to spend 2 to 1 versus anything you get in hand. So you have a space here that determine protected buildings and what you've done at the docks. Then you have a space in each one of these zones. So they're all different. They're in the book. But if you qualify like this one, you have 3 different speakeasies that are protected. Then you can play here. And when you play one of these, they have a bump to track. So basically you just say, I'm going to cook this book right here. So I get a free bump to track. And then I would get $20 in my safe. Now I cannot go here again. If you notice, there's they're matched pairs. Each one's a matched pair of 2. But John, of course, if John wanted to go there later, John could then go there. So he would get himself.
But I could not go say, oh, I've got 3 protected nightclubs, and go, oh, I've got 3 more.
I still got 3, yeah. Mm-hmm. But if he did 3 and then later on he had 5 protected clubs, he could then go to the 5. So.
All right. Do they have to be unique though? Or
no, they don't have to be unique. No.
So this would be a total of, if I had 8 protected clubs.
Yeah, so as you protect more and more clubs, you qualify for a higher and higher area.
So that'd be $40 at the end of the game.
$40, yep. You collect that as soon as you cook that book. Okay. So, and then we have Central Park. Central Park, like these are the zones, and then Central Park is pretty much just anything. These are the kind of the easiest ones to do. If you have 5 influence with your cards plus ones you have in hand, you get to cook one of these books, and they give you, like these 2 give you more influence, and this gives you a family member, and this gives you a helper, and it also, all 5 of these give you $10 in your safe. And one other place you can cook books is here. As you go up this track, each time you hit one of these or pass it, you get to cook one of these books, and they give you a bump up track. So this one's 15 or 10, 15, and if you reach all the way up there, it's $20. Mm-hmm. And speaking of this track, let's go ahead and explain this track. I haven't really explained it. This is the infamy track. I've talked about bumping up tracks a lot. Anytime you hit this symbol right here, you get to bump up a track of your choice. So anytime you do that, you're going to bump up, and then you immediately go up on the infamy track. So if you look, if I happen to get up to 8 here, let's say I bump this one up to 4, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's just a number above it. You just add up what your total track is, so I can go up to 8 here. Then I'm going to get my family member who's parked here. And you keep going up. If I get to 10, then I qualify for cooking a book there. If I get to 11, then I get a card of my choice over there and a helper card. And you keep going up. If you get all the way up here, that's just $15 in your safe. But another thing that happens is you can kind of see there's a line right here. The higher you get, that means the more infamous you are, the more people are willing to pay money to go into your nightclub. So if I'm ever selling alcohol, which I haven't explained selling alcohol, that is a jazz card. I'll explain that in a second. If I'm selling alcohol, has two numbers, a top number and a lower number. At all my nightclubs and casino, I sell the top number, and then the lower number is on my Speakeasy. So here, 15 for top, 10 for the lower one, 20 and 15. If you can get all the way up here, it's 25 for the top and 20 for the bottom, because you're so infamous.
Yeah, and I notice if you get all the way to 25, which is 5 on everything, you just get $20 in hand.
In hand, yeah, that's nice. Here it's 15 in safe, but if $20 in hand, pretty nice. So let me go ahead and explain selling. There's not a place out here. That's like the one symbol that there's not a place for. You have to use either one of these tokens. There's a sell token, or you have to play one of the party cards. And the party card, it looks like, it very much resembles the brew section, except it's sell. So you just basically play this card. In this case, I would get a book that I could cook later, and then I could sell my alcohol. And so how do you sell it? The alcohol has to be beside one of your buildings. So in this case, I have, and how much you can sell is determined by how far you're on this track. So right now I could sell 2. If I were all the way at the end, I could sell 4. So that's how you sell. Essentially, you're running your club and you're selling the rum that's there that night. So if my guy was, I'm going to put my guy right here. My guy was, well, he can put it right here. Was here, and then I sold alcohol for my casino and my nightclub. I would get to sell it for $20, so that'd be $40. And over here in my Speakeasy, I get to sell for $15. So that would be $55 in hand. That counts for a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Selling alcohol is a pretty important thing.
It's any play card or the jazz card are the only place you can sell it.
The only place you can sell, or if you have one of the city tiles,
city tiles, which I haven't seen many. There may not be.
A lot. That's true. Don was able to double sell using the one, which was pretty nice. That was a pretty good place you did. But that is all the spots. That is all the actions. It is really simple. It seems like I'm saying a lot, but it's really simple. But it does, like a lot of good Euro-style games, it starts chaining into other things. So I play here, which might bump me up here, so then I can sell the alcohol. Let's say I had one of these that let me sell and one of these that let me bump up, these little city tiles. I bump up, and then I can sell at a higher price if I bump up just right.
And the advantage, like the city token, like you could use one of these to distill, and then get another something, then say another one to play a card, to get a card. Then you can play that card to sell your liquor too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can really start chaining things up.
Because these are not in an order you can do in any pattern.
Yeah. It's pretty important. I've seen some pretty wild chains and actions because someone played things in specific order. But that's all the different things. I'm about to explain the end of turn, but it's all different things you can do and all the icons and everything. Yeah, John showed me that. Right here on your helper thing, it tells you return capos, which you do in rounds 2, 3, and 4. You do your player rounds, and then you do your Lucky Luciano phase. So how do we do the Lucky Luciano phase?
It's actually on here too.
It's also on there, yeah.
It's on the back. First you have a mob war. How do you have a mob war? Well, all these little spaces where there's one of these little bodies, you're going to put out gangsters. And they're set up, the first gangsters you put out are A's, A, B, C, and D. And so right here, you're just going to randomly pull one out. So this is 2. So I'm going to put Abner Zwillman. He's going to go here at 2. And then his strength, 5, we're going to put a strength token right there. The reason why you do that, you're also going to put out 2 Speakeasies right there. And now, if you want to go to the spot, you have to have a strength of 6 or higher if you want to build in this area. Plus, there's a cop there, so you got to protect the building. Well, that's a pain.
Voice of experience.
Yeah. So now I'm going to show you what happens if a mafioso comes into your area and you have a building. Let's go ahead and put a Speakeasy and a Speakeasy and a nightclub out there.
You could put a family member on one of them just to
show. I'll show you the family member. So we're going to flip it over. Number 5, it's going to be Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. He's got a strength of 6. And he's going to go to number 5 on this board. And now that these are on the board, you can make a association with one of these new guys that came out. So let's say you had an association with a 4 power. You're like, this guy's a 6. I'm going to make an association with him. But I couldn't do that because I already have people here. But let me show you what happens. We have a mob war. So Bugsy, he's coming in. Your family member, he doesn't help you at all. He's just there for cops. That's the only reason why you have a family member out there is for cops. So I have to somehow have enough strength to match what he has. And Bugsy, if you look at him, he has a +2 right here. What this +2 means is when he enters this area, he's coming onto this turf. You know, the big boss sent him out. He's got a strength of 6 +2. So I have to defend against a strength of 8, which stinks. So how do I do that? Well, first of all, I just have my character strength right here. So if he's an 8, so let's say it's a 5, and I happen to have 3 goons, I could spend these 3 goons plus my strength of 5. That's a total of 8. I would be able to fend him off. He'd drive up and say, I'm too powerful for you. And he'd drive away. But I have 2 buildings here. So I protected this one. I still got to protect this one. And let's say I don't have any more goons. What happens? This one will get destroyed and they get replaced by Speakeasy, which is very sad. I speak from experience.
It is.
So yeah, you have to protect when he's coming in, however many buildings you have here. Like this one has 3 spaces. If I had a building at each space, I would have to defend each one of these spaces each time from a mobster attack.
Yeah. And your Speakeasy doesn't go back to your board. It goes to your tray, so it's out of the game.
It is destroyed. Yep, you don't get to build that later. But another thing you can do, of course, I have my association here with number 9, which is Big Bill Dwyer. Big Bill Dwyer, he has a 5 here. So I can pay Big Bill Dwyer $5. Hey, Big Bill. I can borrow his strength. So my 5 plus Big Bill's 4, it's a lot higher than his 8, which he's coming in at because he's first time attacking. So I'll be able to fend him off. And he sells Big Bill out there. And he's like, nope, I'm not attacking with Big Bill.
You tied with 8 to 8.
Yep. So Big Bill, he does that. And Big Bill, his power is, if you look at him, he lets you use him once for free. And then you flip him over. And it has a little line through it. It's gone. But yeah, he lets you hire him once for free because he likes you so much. But that's how, when you're doing mob boards, you're going to take these little mob tokens off every single space they are. There should be one more. Maybe I moved it out already. But it tells you how many come out each round. So at the very beginning, you have 6. All 6 come out, unless it's a 2-player game. There is a difference between 2 and 1-player games. Yes. Then 3 come out, 4, and 3. Yep.
And as an example, like if he had this guy here, he defended with his goons, then he could spend money and defend with those.
Yep.
But you don't. They take away. You don't get to refresh your count before it. So
yeah.
It's one
each
turn.
building you have to attack. You have to defend from the attack every single time.
What you have on your board in here. Yeah.
So it's a nice little pressure cooker kind of. And let's say you built in an area, like if you built in this area and there's nothing. So the next round, the mobsters are going to be even more powerful. And let's say they don't come out this round. Well, the final round, those guys are super powerful. So you got to be ready. You got to make the right association, have the right amount of goons.
A good advice for strategy is start taking over the lower people first. And really don't worry about these places until the mob's going in. Mm-hmm. Or unless you're strong enough to
unless you're strong enough, you're able to build up a sound enough base. Yeah, that is a very nice strategy, is try and bump a track up enough, have a couple of goons, and jump in one of these spots, because you never have to worry about a mob attack after that. That is a very good advice, John.
All right, next we're going to have Cops Patrol Manhattan.
Cops Patrol Manhattan. So, all these little space, it has a little cop here on the back of these. You saw her set up, of course. It tells you where the cops are coming out. So, John, if you'll help me out. Yep. A lot of times we just set the cop on top of the thing. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You just clean it up at the end, but...
And then the next ones will come out, which I looked numbers like 15, 9, 11. These are ones, so we'll say that was 12. And then 6.
I moved him earlier, so I think he was somewhere else.
So we know next round cops will be there.
Where cops will be there, so you have time to plan, because
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have a mole in the police force.
Yeah, you have a mole in the police force. So this casino, he gets a whole another round. He's not going to worry about a cop. But he knows one's coming. Like these spaces here, one's coming. And like I said, if there's a cop in a space, if there's a cop right here, then when I'm doing the next phase or counting the activities, my still would still be running because it's protected. But this building is no longer functioning. It is shut down because of the cops.
And you know, the last round, these 4 go out, so you know they're coming into these spaces.
Yeah.
So plan accordingly.
Plan accordingly. So that's not too big a deal, except the cops will affect the very last round of the game, which is the Lucky Luciano payout. How does that work?
A little competition here.
Yeah, let's get some competition out there.
I'll just cover the spot in a minute. Oops.
Oh, put me one.
Oh.
One.
Oh, okay.
Give me back one. I want one here. Just for
Let's do it like that.
All right. And a great big hotel. No.
And
put all this stuff.
yeah.
Actually, a good example will be, say, I have a hotel here and put a family member.
Family member right there. All right.
Now explain that situation.
Yeah. So basically, after you've done your mob wars, what buildings are going to be blown up or blown up, and what ones survive, you've put your cops out. So now you're going to go to each one of these zones, and you're going to see who has the most control. And the most control is, there's a chart right there on the side of the building. It's casino. You're just going by whatever the best building is. So in this case, even if, let's say, hand me your nightclub.
Okay.
So right here, if Don had a speakeasy and a nightclub, John would still control it, even with one building, because he has a casino.
Actually, I wouldn't, because
there's a cop there.
So let's say, give me one of your family members, yellow. This guy would. Don would control it that way, even though I have a casino.
Yeah, even though that's a speakeasy, the lowest of the low, Don would still control this area because it's the only protected building.
Pretty much, it's always protected buildings first, in this order.
Yeah.
Then unprotected buildings without a cop.
So let's say that cop wasn't there. Don would still win this, even though a casino is greater than a speakeasy. Her speakeasy protected. So it always counts. But later on, if John was able to get this family member out, then he would control it. Even though there are 2 buildings out there, he would still control it because he has a protected member. So we played once and John didn't know that, and I know he was a little sad about that. But we kind of restarted that game. But yeah, so let's, like here, you have a little chart here. Here, the mob controls this one. In this case, there's no cop, and you always beat mobsters. So I would control this one and come over here. There's a cop here and a cop here. So there's a cop here in this one. So this building doesn't function. So the mob controls it. They're going to bump up one more.
And mobs always paid off the cops.
Yeah, mobs have always paid off the cops. So they're always present. You come here again. Don doesn't have one. So nothing. You come here. Well, I have a protected building. There's no cop. So I'm going to bump up one more. And here, well, Dawn doesn't have there's not a cop there, and Dawn has a building, so she would bump up one. So now you go area by area, and you do that, and then you come back, and there's a little payout symbol, goes to the safe, in each one of these areas. This is the cheapest area, and this is the most expensive area.
Cheap, mid, high grade.
It's cheap, mid, high grade.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then it's kind of tell them how that works.
So basically, there's 5 spots. So whoever's at the top, let's say I was at the top, I would get that 35. And the mob would get to 25. Don would get to 15. And then John, since he has no presence, he have to have a presence to get paid, he would get paid nothing. But if anytime you're tied, you go -1. So, and we're both tied for the top spot, but there's 2 of us, so it's down 1. So we'd get split to 25. If Don was up here, he'd go down 2. So we'd each get 15. I say split, you would each get 15. So that's pretty nice. But let's say I only had 1 building there, and I was down here at the bottom, and no one else had any presence, and I had 1 building, just a lowly old speakeasy. I'd still get that 35 because I'm still the top dog on this little chart here.
Yep. So
that's how you're going to then pay out. You go for each area, you sum it up. This is nothing here, nothing here. The mob controls that one, the mob controls this one, and I control that one. So the mob would get 25 and I would get 15.
Yep.
So that's money in your safe. So it kind of boosts you up to the next round, but it's in your safe, so you still have to spend 2 to 1.
And you can always tell it's in your safe because the number will be side, like this one's inside the safe, so it goes your safe, while this one is not, plus, so it's in your hand.
Kind of the only way you can get money in your hand is helpers, the casino payout over here, and selling alcohol. That's why selling alcohol is kind of important, because it gets you money in hand, which is pretty nice. But anyway, that is how your round is over. At the start of the next round, you're going to pull your couples back. But other than that...
Yeah, when you pull them back, you pull back. Yeah. Like the first round, you have 4. Next time you pull them back, you lose 1 guy, so you got 3.
Yeah.
And then the very last turn, you just have 1.
Yeah, you have 4, 3, 3, and 1. So you have a total of 11 rounds you're playing. That's it. You have a chance to play 11 cards, 11 rounds. So you really got to math it out. But there's a $300 money token, so we know you can score really, really well.
And there's like 6 of them. So.
6 of them, so yeah. But it's a really fun game.
We played it with 3, and it took us about 3 hours with 3 people.
Yeah. It takes about an hour per person.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to explain this final round scoring?
Final round scoring.
Because it's actually not really hard.
Yeah. The final round scoring is and so your very last round, which they have dates, 1931, you're putting out 1 person. And after everybody's put out that 1 person, and if this has changed, you go ahead and put that back together. So yeah, you do your round bonus at the end of the round. Casinos get paid. You're going to get one last payout essentially for each protected, and protected is the big thing. You got to have protected building. Each protected building you have. So each protected nightclub you have, you're going to get $10 in hand. That's a little in hand, because it doesn't really matter if you put it in your safe at this point. 15 for each nightclub, 20 for your still. So that lowly still you put out is actually worth quite a bit at the end, because it's made you a lot of money. And then 20 for each casino. And you get that in your hand, and you just add up what you got. You add up what's in your hand from selling alcohol, from helpers, and the helpers themselves. Let's go ahead and talk about the helpers. The helpers, they have a bottle. I explained this earlier with the helper cards. And a number, so you also collect for each unique one you have. So I have this little orange bottle and this white bottle, and this is worth 20 and this is worth 10, so I ought to get $30 in hand from that.
Yes. And some of them were 20 themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. That one's worth 5. But if you ever have the same bottle for whatever reason, you only just get to count that once. Let's say right here, that's perfect. So these both have this white bottle, so that one doesn't count, just one of them. So I don't get 40 for it. I just get the 20. So that's how you do the helper. So yeah, you get your final payout, and then you add what you have in your hand, you add what you have in your safe, you add what your helpers give you, and
that's it.
That's it. The barrels don't count for anything. Your tracks don't count for anything. Just that's it. Your trucks don't count for anything. Just the money you have in hand. The person with the most wins. And there's some tiebreakers if everybody's tied, but
they're in the book. So.
They're in the book. Yeah, it's actually a really simple, difficult game. It's like my favorite kind of game.
Yeah. No, we did like 1 practice round, 2 practice rounds, make sure we had it figured out. At that point, we knew the rules.
Yep.
There's a little bit of iconography looking up, but it's simple rules. Strategy's completely different story.
Yeah, strategy. Yeah, you can kind of be busted and somehow come out pretty good at the end if you're able to pull it out. So say never give up and always...
Masterful. Speaking from the voice of experience there. That was amazing.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things to do. So never give up. Always play. Just try and figure out your next move. Don't be afraid to take a minute and talk it out. It's a lot of fun. It took a long time, but it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed this game.
So that was I was going to say, anything else?
No, I can't think of anything.
That is our how to play for the game Speakeasy, and we appreciate you joining us. And please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our YouTube and our Patreon channels. Thank you so much.